Hello and welcome to Beachview, our podcast about things and/or stuff.
Hello, welcome. So today we're doing another album review. The artist is, you guessed it, Death Cab for Cutie.
Indeed.
And the album is Thank You for Today.
Yes, which is from 2018. I should have looked up which album number it was, because I'm sure you'll ask.
I feel like it's number 6.
It's more than 6.
No.
This is number 9.
Number 9? Jeez.
Yes.
Okay. That was way off. Well, 6 was just an arbitrary guess, but yeah, number 9. Wow.
Yeah, so what'd you think of this one?
So I liked it. I think I liked it better than the last one.
Oh, I definitely liked it better than the last one.
Yeah, I figured you would, yeah.
Which I famously did not like.
Yeah. I feel like this kind of got back to their original sound a little bit more than the last album. Would you agree with that?
No, I think there's way more synth in here.
Okay.
Which is not really a thing they did previously.
I got you. I guess I felt like the vibe was more, just kind of a little softer, a little chiller. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it just gave me like, oh, this sounds more like them to me than the last one.
I don't know if that last one wasn't like soft and chill. I guess there were some upbeat notes on it, but
yeah, I don't know. That's what I was kind of comparing it to, like the vibe I got from the last one. But yeah, I like this one. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And you know how I like I always say like, oh, I like when they release a lot of songs. Any band releases a lot of songs. I actually thought this, it's a shorter album.
Yeah.
And I like the length of it. Like it was a nice little, like, concise little album. So yeah, I appreciated it. Yeah.
It's less than 40 minutes, which is on the shorter side for albums.
Definitely on the shorter side. And I guess I need to stop saying like, oh, I like when they release a lot of songs, because I felt like this was like a good listen, like it's a good timing. So I appreciated that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so my history with this album, so if you remember from the last episode, I did not like the last one. So, I wasn't expecting much from them again. And, especially after, like, they lost a long-time member on that last album, like we talked about, and it's just, like, really wasn't a fan of it. But then they released a single. I listened to it and I was like, you know what, this isn't bad. And then they released, I don't know if these were singles or not. I'm not gonna mention singles other than the first one, just because, like, I was having trouble getting good information about that. But, yeah, they released a few more songs, and I was like, you know what, these are solid songs. And then the album came out, and I listened to it, and I really liked it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you liked it, because I know you really didn't like the last one, so I didn't know if that feeling was going to carry over, or if you were going to do a little turnaround.
No, I like the vibe of this album, where it's, like, a lot of guitar-driven stuff with, like, a synth under it.
Yeah.
Sort of the background. I like that. And they use some more, like, electronic percussion, a lot of vocal effects. Yeah. It's a neat sound.
I did like that. Now, I will say there were just a couple of songs that I didn't like as much on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and as we go through it, I'll explain why. But for the most part, I thought this was a solid album from them, which I was glad to see, because, after so long, like, I remember you saying on a couple of the other ones, like, oh, they're past their prime, when listening to a couple of them recently. And I was glad to see, like, being their 9th album, which, of course, I didn't know it was their 9th, but I knew it was, like, far down the line.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see. I feel like they got it back. Like, they're, like, solid again,
Yeah. I will say, before we get into the track-by-track, a few notes about things we brought up in prior albums. We both mentioned not liking some of Ben Gibbard's vocals, some of his vocal performances. Some of that's been, like, age, maybe. But I think in this album they did really well, I think in part because of the vocal effects, and he also is, like, these are a lot of more down-tempo tracks, and he gives a more understated performance that I think suits where he is with his voice at this point in his career better.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think you're absolutely right on that. You could tell, which, I I didn't catch like a ton of like the vocal, what do you call them? Like the, I guess, vocal treatments. But I thought like it was definitely more understated, and I like that.
Yeah. And also the lyrics, which I felt were a lot better this time than the previous album. Maybe not some of their best, but like definitely improvement over the last album.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you're not comparing it to what you would consider their best, I think the lyrics are pretty solid.
Yeah.
You know, it's always hard because you always want to compare like when a band has like multiple albums, like it's so easy to compare. But if you're taking this as a standalone, like if you're taking this as someone who like this is the first album they listened to from them, I think like lyrically it was, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. But yeah, unless you have anything else to add, we'll get into the track by track.
Let's get into it. So, the first one, I Dreamt We Spoke Again. I like this one. What did you think?
Yeah, I really like this one. Yeah, this one has vocal effects on it. I don't know if you picked up on that or not.
I a little bit on this one, and I think that's why I liked it. I like those effects. And it's got like, I think that gives it like a cool, like chill vibe, and with a good beat. I really like it has some like little tingly sounds in it. I don't know what they call that, but I guess it's like some synth sounds, but I like those. I thought like overall this was a good song to start the album with.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the lyrics in this one about like having a dream about someone that the speaker used to know, and
Yes.
it just being sort of like reflective on that.
Yeah. I think this kind of, like you're saying, it lyrically, I think it's on par with like when they were at their best. Like, I think this is a great song, lyrically, musically, vocal delivery. I really like this one.
Yeah, I like the guitar line. I like the synths underneath it. I like when the like sort of vocals pick up.
Yeah.
You know, the drawn out like said and head.
Yes. Yeah, I think that sounds good. And I, like you're saying, the lyrics, I love that it's telling this kind of, you know, thoughtful, introspective, but like again, relatable. I say again because I say that on a lot of different albums, and
Yeah.
usually like the songs I really like, I'm always like, yeah, it's so relatable. So, I think lyrically this shines for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, next.
Okay, next we have Summer Years. This is another chill song. I really like the guitar in this. I really like the lyrics. Specifically, I like I wonder where you are tonight. If the one you're with is a compromise, we're walking lines in parallel that will never meet and it's just as well. I really like that. That's another kind of like reflective.
Mm-hmm.
And I just the whole feel of the song. I like the summer years, like the idea of the summer years and like reflecting on it. So I think overall, like I said, great guitar, great lyrics.
Yeah, and the lyrics about like you know, it's sort of being wistful for something that could have been, but also not like,
Yes.
you know, it's just sort of reflecting on that. It's not the
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
that will never meet and it's just as well. It's not like
Yes.
a tragedy. It's just sort of you know, wondering what could have
Yes.
been.
And I think that's why I like it, because, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's a little depressing. This, although it seems wistful, it doesn't seem like it's depressing. It's kind of like, yeah, what happened has happened. Like, we're thinking about it, but we're not, you know, we're not being depressed about it.
Yeah, and my favorite line from this is the second verse. Sometimes I'm overcome by every choice I couldn't outrun. The junctions all disappear. You can't double back to your summer years.
Yes, I love that. Just lyrically on here, I really was impressed. Just that it kind of felt like, you know, some of those older albums were like, yeah, they hit it musically, they hit the vibe, and they hit the lyrics.
Yeah, and Ben Gibbard's vocal delivery works perfectly for this song.
Mm-hmm.
With it's kind of understated.
Yeah,
I really
totally
like
agree.
the electronic percussion in this.
Mm-hmm.
And the guitar, especially like the bridge, which doesn't have any lyrics.
Yeah,
But I like that part. Guitar sort of
I
up a bit.
sometimes I don't like electronic percussion, but I think it fits here. I think it was good use of it.
I'm pretty sure that's electronic percussion.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell me and I'll be like, yeah.
It sounds like it. It
Yeah.
sounds like a drum machine, but
Yeah. I thought the same thing. But I'm not great at like detecting what's what, but I feel like I'm getting better.
yeah. I think this is probably my favorite. This is probably my favorite song on the album.
Ooh, I like that. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I think it's a good song.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next.
Next, we have Gold Rush. So this is the first one we come across that I don't like as much.
All right.
Yeah, it's the music for me it's not my favorite. It was reminding me of like a 90s song. I couldn't like pinpoint what it was.
This is a 70s song.
Okay. So. Maybe that's what I was thinking. But yeah, definitely an older song, I felt like, but I just couldn't pinpoint like what it's reminding me of. But the thing I didn't like is how they kept repeating Gold Rush or like
Yeah,
you
in
know,
the background.
yes, like that repetitive like some of the other phrases they sing, it just wasn't for me. I don't like that kind of background like vocal like repeating, which is it's interesting because I always talk about, oh, I love a song with a good beat. And like, I fully realize like the beat's repetitive, but only certain repetition kind of grates on my nerves. And it's the Gold Rush for me. I was like,
okay.
no, I can't. I don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only part. I was like, nah.
Yeah. But yeah, this song samples Yoko Ono's song called Mine Train from 1971.
Okay. I was like thinking like it sounds like an older song, but I was off by 2 decades. So yeah. Okay.
Which is, I think, the first time Death Cab for Cutie used a sample in one of their songs. So it's kind of interesting for that.
It's definitely interesting. I love a good sample, and but I'm surprised that Death Cab, they don't seem like like as you said, if it's the first time, they don't seem like a sampling kind of thing. But I like when people use samples and make it totally different. I think that's great. This one just wasn't for me.
Yeah, and this was a single, the first single.
Oh.
I was having trouble, like, tracking which of the rest of the songs were singles, but this one definitely was.
I was wondering which ones were, because I don't remember, like, during that time any singles, but I don't know what I was doing in, what'd you say, 2018?
Yeah.
I didn't hear any of this, so anyway, yeah. But this is third song in, I didn't really care for.
Okay. I think this song's fine. It didn't bother me. It is kind of different because of that sample. It is just a bit of a different sound than from the rest of the album, but I think it's neat. It's a solid sample. I think they use it well.
Well, good. All right. Next, Your Hurricane. I like this one. I like the lyrics. I really like how he says, I won't be the debris in your hurricane. I like the stars are cracks in the ceiling of night. I like that kind of imagery. And to me, this song has like a softer vibe, like a low-key kind of beat. I will say it does put me to sleep a little. Like it's that like low-key to me that I'm just like, Yeah, but I like the guitar in this one as well.
Yeah, I like the guitar and I like the sentiment and the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be the debris in your hurricane. Sort of a relationship that's not working out because the other person's a disaster.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yes, this is another one where they really shine lyrically to me. I just, I think it's a really good one.
Yeah, and this is definitely a slower song. Kind of a sadder song, too.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm surprised that I like it so much because, usually the depressing ones, I'm like, oh, it's so depressing.
Yeah.
But it has its place, and I just really like the hurricane imagery here.
Yep. Well, next.
Okay, next. When We Drive. This is another one I'm iffy on this one. I think I like it, but I don't love it. And I was trying to figure out what I don't love. And it goes back to that like repetitive thing again. I think it's the beat that's a little too repetitive to me. Like it just like something about it agitates my audio processing issues. And I don't love the lyrics and the metaphor of driving.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know that it's a metaphor. I think it's literally about driving.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's literally about a road trip.
I was taking it as a metaphor, but like I could see it being literal as well. But yeah, I don't love that.
People do take road trips,
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not too fond of this song either. Yeah, the
Yeah.
lyrics aren't great.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it's just, kind of a step down.
Right. Yeah. And I've liked other songs with the driving kind of theme in the past. But this one I just don't like it. Well, it's not that it's okay. I'm iffy on it, like I said.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cross it off the album, but
Yep.
Okay.
Next.
All right. Next we have Autumn Love. This one's not bad. It's got a catchy chorus. I don't love how he sings the deepest of connection.
Oh, you don't where he really picks up on.
Yeah, I don't like that part. I don't know why, but I'm just like, ew. It's got an ick factor to me.
Yeah, increases the tempo on the on that line.
I don't know why I don't like that, but
I like
but
that.
I think the instrumentals are good. It's got kind of a slower beat, which I like, but it's just I don't know why that little deepest of connection part. I'm like, ugh, no. But it's not bad.
Yeah. Not my favorite on this album, but yeah, it's a solid enough song. Chorus is pretty catchy.
It is catchy. I have to give you that, but
it's a little bit more upbeat too.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm not gonna replay it over and over, but I'm just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, not one of the ones I come back to on this album.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Next.
Okay, next we have Northern Lights. I like this one. I like the tempo. I kind of like how it doesn't have a ton of lyrics.
Yeah,
which
a lot of
I
songs
usually
on this album like that.
Yeah, and usually I'm like all about the lyrics, but I like that it's a little more subtle, I would say, without a ton of lyrics. And I think the guitar and like the other music is really good in this.
Mm-hmm. Also, this has it doesn't say featuring, but it features vocals from Lauren Mayberry, who's the lead singer of Churches. It's Churches spelled with a V.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar.
Yes, but yeah, I had to mention the V.
Yeah, got you. I did not know that. I like that.
Yeah, which I don't know why it doesn't say featuring, but yeah, she's on this song.
I wonder of this, little side note. I noticed that on something else I was listening to recently that it didn't say featuring, and I don't know why they do it sometimes. They, as in the music industry, does it sometimes and not others.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have an answer for that, but I really like the lyrics. I think it has great lyrics.
Well, especially because I think at this point in their career, Churches is much bigger than Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
So you figure, the label or whatever will want, hey, this has a popular artist.
Right. I don't understand that.
I don't think this was released as a single, even though I've seen some places say it was. So, again, that's why I don't think it was, but I can't quite tell.
That is, and I didn't know that. And just to preface, I didn't, a lot of times I'll do a little bit of research before we do an album review and kind of see what critics said and just read some interviews and stuff like that, because I think it kind of adds color to, as I'm listening to an album. I didn't do that for this one. I wanted to just kind of go in blindly and see how I really feel. So I hadn't looked that up and I didn't know that. So that makes it even more interesting, I think.
Yep. I like the chorus in this song.
Yeah.
Got a good upbeatness to it.
Yeah, upbeatness. I like that. Yeah, I think this is definitely a solid song on the album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next we have You Moved Away. Okay, this is another one. I don't love this song, and I think it's because it has kind of creepy-ish music to it. Did you get that?
No, not at all.
I don't feel like the vibe is like low key because it's got this kind of driving beat, but like with creepy music, and it makes me on edge. Some music sometimes kind of puts me on edge, and this is one of those songs. I don't think it's a bad song, but it gives me like a creepy vibe.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. I will say, I think the lyrics on this one are the worst on the album. It's just like a kind of nothing story about someone moving away and everybody being sad about that. I don't know. It's not great lyrically, but the music's fine. I like the synths to it.
Yeah,
although you
and
thought it was
I feel
creepy,
like
I didn't get that.
it was
at all.
creepy. Yeah, and like the title's like so on point. You moved away, like we got it, But yeah, it gave me, I don't know. I just pictured this in like a creepy movie or something. Didn't love it.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. That's the one I'm gonna skip.
Yeah, not the best song on this album.
Yeah, not the best. But not terrible either. Next we have Near Far. I like this one. Again, I think it has a good beat with solid instrumentals. I really like the lyrics. You're here so far away, so near, so far away. Like I don't know, I like that kind of a little bit. I think that's one of those things where it's somebody who's not fully present, like you can feel that they're not present with you kind of thing. I would say that this is probably my favorite on the album.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, and I think I heard some piano in there. I'm not positive. It could just be guitar, the little kind of, lighter plinking. I don't know what you call it. But I liked it. So, yeah, I'm going to give this one, it's my fave on the album.
Yeah, the lyrics are weak to me. I don't know. Like, I understand the concept. It just feels like a very blunt way of handling
that. Yeah, I could see that too.
I don't know. The melody in the chorus is fine. I don't know. It's also, again, not the strongest to me. I'm sensing a pattern where these more upbeat songs aren't necessarily my favorite compared to some of the more down-tempo ones.
Yeah. Which, I guess I'm the opposite on that, but, I mean, we usually are kind of opposite on, but...
Yeah, I like the kind of upbeat, bouncy synths, those are decent.
Yeah, I liked it. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. And then that brings us to the last song.
Yep.
60 and Punk. So here's another, I feel like you probably will disagree. Semi-creepy music.
What?
Did you get any kind of creepy vibe there?
No. What?
Okay, I don't know. I got semi-creepy
this one,
on
like,
this one.
I don't know. I can at least see with the
music.
synths on the last one you said, but this is like a kind of like piano ballad almost. Like,
I don't know.
What's creepy about that?
I don't know. It just gives me a little bit of a creepy vibe, but not terrible. But this one doesn't bother me like that. Like,
also, this is way too sad to be creepy.
What? I don't know. I said semi creepy, not full creepy. So just, but it doesn't bother me. Okay. But it does seem almost like dreamlike. Like, I think, the drum comes in very slowly.
Yeah.
It's like a very introspective song. I do like the lyrics, but this one is kind of depressing as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's about someone who's like alcoholic and kind of a disaster, and like someone you used to look up to, and just like not liking their downward spiral there.
It's very sad. Like what did it say? Like a superhero that doesn't have anybody to save. Like you're like, ooh, depressing. But I thought I liked it.
Yeah, I like the way the percussion picks up at the curtain falls to applause and the band plays you off. And then repeating the band plays you off.
Mm-hmm.
I like the vocal delivery on this, which is kind of like really understated.
Yes.
Maybe understated is not the right word, but it's very straight, very clearly enunciated.
Yeah, I can see that. So we still have some depressing songs on the album. We still have some good lyrics, you know.
Yeah, and this one to me really hits. Just you really feel those emotions in this one, and I don't see creepy. It's almost like a piano ballad. Like it starts with the piano.
I don't know. Maybe that's why it's creepy to me. I don't know. Or maybe I was already in like a creepy mood from You Moved Away. So I was like, oh, I don't know. It just gave me a little creepy vibe.
I don't know. The piano's a little like out of tune, so maybe
that's
there's
what
like
I think.
like I feel like that's maybe like a horror motif. And you're like,
that's what
out of tune piano. This is a horror movie.
Yes, exactly. It just my mind goes straight there for some reason. So
I don't know. That's quintessential sad to me.
well, I don't
or
know.
maybe even like off
tune.
kilter, but not like I don't know. I like sort of out of tune stuff.
But is off kilter not creepy to you?
No,
it is to
no.
me.
There's a difference.
Okay.
There's a difference between weird and creepy.
Okay. Okay.
One's sort of like unbalanced tilting you, you know.
Yeah, that's what kind of creeps me out. Like it's a little unpredictable, you would say maybe, and so being a little off kilter, like unpredictable, and that's a little bit creepy to me.
Yeah, no,
it's not quite as it should be.
I really like the song, and I do not at all find it creepy. I think it's weird that you do.
Well, I said semi creepy on this one, like not full creepy, but yeah, it's a good, like I said, lyrically. I didn't know like from the title. Okay, I was like, what does 60 in punk mean? Like, is that some kind of like I don't know, but it literally is like you're 60 years old and still punk. Like, yes. So I don't know why that kind of was like, what does that mean? I guess I was looking for some other meaning, but pretty solid.
Yeah, I like this song a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, short album.
Yeah. And I like the length of it again, as I said. Which like I love that. The Tortured Poets Department was 31 songs. I was like, oh, I love when they release a lot of music, but
nah, short album's better than a long one.
I'm starting to come around on that. I really like being able to listen to it all within like 40 minutes. So yeah, it's a good vibe, and this is one of my, like, I guess I don't want to say favorite, but this is one of my albums of theirs that I think is like definitely in the top few. And I'm really horrible at remembering like albums and stuff, but I felt like while I was listening to this, I was like, it's got to be like top 3 albums of theirs.
No, not for me. I mean, I like this album a lot, but it's nowhere close to top 3.
Okay, we're gonna have to rank them one day if I can remember any of them. Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is I think this one actually might be near the bottom for me, even though I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like the rest of their catalog a lot more, which again, like sort of past their prime feelings, right? That's where I get that from.
You think so? You think this one is?
Yeah, this one fares a lot better. I think they really play to their strengths in this one.
Yeah.
More so than their previous one.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well,
yeah.
We're opposite a lot of times, so okay, yeah.
And again, not their best lyrical work, but they definitely improved from what their last album was.
Yeah, like I said, I thought lyrically this was a good album. The only lyrics that I didn't love was the When We Drive one. But for the most part, I like the other lyrics, so.
Yeah, I think You Moved Away is worse than When We Drive.
You think so?
Yeah, that's just such a little nothing of a story. And there's literally lines about, you mopped floors and filled cracks to get your security deposit back, you closed your account at the bank. That's nothing.
Okay. When you say it like that, I definitely, yeah, I could see that. Yeah. You Moved Away and When We Drive are 2 of the ones for me that are lyrically not as good as the other ones.
Yeah, especially because I think in You Moved Away, the vocal delivery on those lines is worse. Than at least When We Drive has a good enough pace to it with the delivery. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But good album.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of this album. I like the sound they've cultivated on this one. I like the use of synth. It's a
Mm-hmm.
heavier use of synth than anything they've done previously.
Yeah.
Especially on the down tempo sadder stuff, I think really shines. Like
Mm-hmm.
I dreamt we spoke again in summer years, especially that wistful energy
Yeah.
that they
I
they
like
really
that.
capture that feeling.
They really do. They're good at that. So, how many more albums are there?
One.
What? We're almost to the end?
Yep. Yeah, well this is 2018. That's only
You're right.
6-7 years ago,
Jeez. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it like that, but yeah, wow. We're almost to the end. This is crazy. Okay, so yeah, I'm eager to see what that last album's all about.
Unless they release another one this year, which is possible.
That'd be pretty cool.
Jam.
I mean, I think it's pretty impressive that they've had this many albums.
I mean, a lot of artists do. They still keep going into their later years.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. Love that for them.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else to say about Thank You for Today?
Yeah, no, that's a good album,
Yeah. Yeah. We differ on where we would rank it.
Probably almost done with Death Cab for Cutie albums.
I know. What are we going to do after that?
Anything.
I guess go back to Taylor Swift, right? No, I'm just kidding. But we'll see.
Yeah, albums. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good
yes.
again. Much better than the last one.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. Yeah. Okay, well, if there's nothing further, I will go ahead and close this out. This has been Beach View. Thank you for listening and join us next time. Bye.
Bye.